Well, one of the things I'm learning as I sort of, in my own little way, kind of follow in the footsteps of the great J.P. McCarthy, Hall of Fame radio host, is that the interviews don't always go as you might expect. Here is an example of that with the Mort Saul, who was a very well-known comedian and showed up late for his interview. And, well, they just got off on the wrong foot. It wasn't always sunshine and roses in Studio D, and here's an example of that.
Jack, let's hold the commercial for just a second and meet Mort Saul, who is currently at the Capistrano here in Detroit, and we gave the business to yesterday because he wasn't here. I wasn't upset about that.
I don't understand that. Could you explain that remark to me?
No, I just assumed not. You were due yesterday.
No kidding.
And I kidded you about it on the air.
Even though I informed the press agent and the owner of the club that I tape a show in California on Sunday, and with the time change, I would be flying during Monday. So who scheduled me?
I don't know.
They knew that 2 weeks before I opened.
I don't know. There's no need to apologize or even
I'm not
explain.
apologizing.
Oh.
I've been in this business 13 years, and I've never missed a performance, sickness or otherwise. Okay. So nobody informed me I was supposed to be here yesterday.
Okay, an explanation really wasn't necessary.
Well, since I got rapped, I guess maybe I ought to know about it, huh?
You didn't get rapped that bad. It was all in, it was all in humor. Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Wait, listen, you really are an angry young man, aren't you?
No,
What upsets you? Tell us some of the things that upset you.
What upsets me?
Yeah.
Well, I think America was a good idea, and I'd like to see it go on and not come to an end.
Do you think it's in danger of coming to an end?
You bet.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Mediocrity and greed. Now, which end of the spectrum do you want to go to?
Talking to Mort Saul. Mort, in your nightclub act, do you take an unpleasant situation and make it funny with cynicism?
No, not cynicism. I'm going to give you a blitz education here.
Okay.
Cynicism is the classmate of inexperience. I think you're talking about being embittered. I am not a cynic.
Are you embittered?
If I was a cynic, I wouldn't get out of bed in the morning and go to work and try to talk to people.
Do you
Did you ever read Thomas Wolfe?
Nope.
Try it sometime. You might find out where we live. Just a normal guy who'd like to know who killed the president.
You don't think it was Harvey Oswald?
No, I don't. They didn't just bury a guy. They buried their justice. And you don't avenge the president's death by electing his brother. These are all things people should be thinking about.
You think they're going to elect the president's brother?
Of course.
In 1968?
Of course. No, maybe. If he can quell his ambition that long, they might elect him in 1972. They probably will. It won't make any difference by then anyway.
Tell us about your show, then.
Isn't it true
He's
that...
a happy guy, isn't he? Okay.
What's a happy guy? Someone who agrees with you?
Not necessarily. How long has it been since you smiled?
How long has it been since you've seen me work?
2 years.
You're flying blind, aren't you?
No, 2 years.
The fact of the matter is, it's not a matter of being a happy guy. It's a matter of talking sense. When you ask me a question, I pay you the courtesy of answering you straight. I don't use you as a springboard to be funny for the audience. Now, I'll talk to you about anything you want. But if you question me about that was the week that was, or political matters, or the death of the president, it's hard to be funny about that. There's nothing worse in America than a loser. In fact, all the German people, I was there last year, all they have against Hitler is that he lost. That's all anybody has against a candidate here. You can do anything except lose. You can steal and kill, but don't lose.
Who do you think would be up?
What do you mean, who would I back for president?
For president.
Now?
If somebody came up to you and said, Mort Saul, we'd like to have a candidate for the Mort Saul party.
Anyone who would end the war in Vietnam, and you know what? He'd be elected if he had the sense to say it. If Romney got up to speak locally and said he'd end the war, he'd be elected in a landslide. Ronald Reagan could be president if he'd end the war. The American people have not been given choice.
Is it your opinion that we should end the war by pulling out of Vietnam?
Come on. You know what you're doing now, aren't you?
What am I doing?
You're waving a flag, you're taking no position, and you're trying to make me the heavy.
I'm not making you the heavy.
I'm much too old for that.
I think you're doing a good job of that yourself. You've
No
made
kidding.
You've made a statement. How would you solve the war in Vietnam? How would you get us out of it?
Now, you know, this may come as a shock to you, but I'm going to remind you of something you forgot in the last 14 minutes. I'm in show business. The last man that asked me about ending the war in Vietnam was President Johnson, eminently more qualified than you and eminently more courteous. What do you think of that?
That's just fine.
And eminently more powerful.
Would you tell
you
us
want
what
to find a patsy? Find a dumber guy than me.
Would you tell us what your answer was to the president?
No. Because my word to him is that the conversation is privileged. And if you talk about what you say to the president, even on your show, you might not get invited back.
Can I tell you something? You've called me discourteous. I think you are. You haven't had a pleasant word. You haven't been even entertaining, I don't think, since you've been here.
Well, your job is to keep the show rolling, no matter how many heads go across the floor, isn't it?
Not necessarily. Mort, sorry if I upset you. You upset me. And maybe I'm sure it was my fault. It's my job as an interviewer to bring out the best in you. And apparently I didn't do it. I started off on the wrong foot, and for that I apologize. Mort Saul at the Capistrano. Thank you.
Making the best there of a bad situation. J.P. McCarthy with Mort Saul.